Good morning. Now we're going to discuss Module 5 about mark on, markdown, and markup. Now, I'm going to give you the formula for markup, markdown, and mark on. So when we speak of markup and markdown, that is equal to the selling price minus cost. Now, given this example, the cost is 250, the selling price is 278. Now, looking at the formula, sabi dito, dapat selling price less cost. So, 278 minus 250, the markup is 28. Now, let's proceed for the rate based on cost. Now, pag sinabi nating rate based on cost is equal to the markup divided by the cost. Now, the markup is 28 and the cost is 250. So, 28 divide 250 times 100 and you'll get 11.20%. Now, what about the rate based on the selling price? Again, markup is divided by the selling price. In this example, we have the markup of 28 and then we have to divide that by the selling price, which is 278. So 28 divide 278 times 100, you'll get 10.07% as rate for selling price. Now, let's proceed to markup computation. Now, this is an example. How much was the cost price of a backpack sold for 381.90 if the markup percentage is 34%? Okay, now, so tingnan natin yung given. So, from the example, the selling price is 381.90. The markup percentage is 34%. At ang hinahanap ay si cost price. So, ano yung formula para makuha natin yung cost price? So, again, meron tayong dalawang formula. We have the markup amount is equal to markup percentage times cost, or markup amount is equal to the selling price minus cost price. Now, step 1. Since ang given ay markup percentage, kuhain muna natin si markup percentage. So, markup amount is equal to markup percentage times cost. We have 0.34. Again, kung siya ay naka-percentage, dapat i-convert natin siya to decimal. So, paano ginawa yon? That 34 divide 100 is 0.34 times C or times cost. Okay. Now, that is your markup amount, 0.34 C. Now, for step number 2, kailangan natin gamitin yung isang formula. That's markup amount is equivalent to selling price minus cost. Again, anong value of the markup amount? That is 0.34 C equals selling price minus cost. Okay, now, anong kasunod na gagawin dito? Pagsamahin natin yung like terms. So, ang like terms dito ay 0.34 C and the negative C. When we transpose to the other side, magiging positive siya. Kaya ito ay 0.34 C plus C is equal to selling price. By the way, yun ay 0.34 C ha, not 0.34 C. Okay, now, what is 0.34 C plus C? Meron dyang imaginary 1, kaya siya ay magiging 1.34 C. And then, what is the selling price? 381.90. So again, both sides divided by 1.34 C para makuha na lang natin yung value of C. So 381.90 divide 1.34, that is 285. So ang cost pala niya ay 285. Now proceed to example number 2. An item in the department store is currently being sold for 675.35. Because of high demand for the item, the store decided to apply a mark-on percentage of 22%. Find the new selling price. Now, this time, kapag daw masyadong in demand yung product na meron tayo, that is the time na pwede tayo mag-mark on doon sa ating product. When we speak about mark on, so ito yung idinadagdag natin na another profit pa aside from the markup kasi nga mayroong demand for the product. So, now from the given example, tingnan natin yung mga given. So, we have the current selling price of 675.35 and we also have the markup percentage that is equal to 22%. By the way, hindi yun plus sign ha, it should be equal. So, mark-on percentage is equivalent to 22%. Now, what are the formula? So, mark-on is equivalent to new selling price minus current selling price or the previous selling price, or mark-on is equivalent to mark-on percentage times current selling price or previous selling price. Now, step 1, since ang given dito ay percentage or the mark-on percentage, we have 0.22. Again, paano nangyaring 0.22 siya? Dahil dinivide si 22% by 100 times the current selling price of 675.35, which is the mark-on amount is 148.14. Now, proceed to step number 2. Okay, mark-on amount is equivalent to new selling price minus current selling price. Again, the mark-on amount is 148.14 is equal to the new selling price minus current selling price of 675.35. Now, pagsamahin natin yung like terms. In this case, yung 148 saka yung 675.35. So, from the negative, punta sa kabilang side, magiging plus 675.35. So, when you add 148.14 plus 675.35, your new selling price is 823.93. Okay. Now, going on to the next example about the markdown. So, how much markdown percentage was applied to a jacket whose previous price of 798 is now sold for 654.36. Now, this time, markdown, bumaba yung presyo naman ng isang item. Now, from the given example, ang given dyan is the current selling price or the previous selling price of 798 and the new selling price of 654.36. Now, what is the formula again? Markdown is equivalent to the current selling price minus new selling price, or markdown is equivalent to markdown percentage times current selling price or the previous selling price. Step 1, since ang given ay the current and the new selling price, so minus lang natin siya. 798 minus 654.36. Now, your markdown amount is 143.64. Pero ang hinahanap natin is the markdown percentage. Okay, now, since we have the markdown amount of 143.64, okay, that is 143.64 ha, not 0.65, is equal to markdown percentage times 798. Now, para ma-eliminate natin yung figures kay markdown percentage, we have to divide it by 798. Again, this one is 143.64 divide 798 and you'll get 18%. Now, proceed to the next example. Find the previous selling price of a shirt which now sells at 219, which was given a markdown percentage of 27%. Now, this time, given naman yung markdown percentage, ang hinahanap naman natin is the previous selling price or the current selling price. Now, from the given example, the given are the new selling price of 219, the markdown percentage of 27%, and then the formula, the markdown amount is equivalent to the current selling price minus new selling price, and the or markdown amount is equivalent to markdown percentage times current selling price. Now, since ang given natin dito ay percentage or the markdown percentage, yun muna ang gagawin natin na formula. Yung markdown amount is equivalent to markdown percentage times current selling price. So, 0.27 times current selling price is 0.27 current selling price. Now, proceed to step number 2 kasi meron tayong value for the markdown amount, which is 0.27 current selling price is equal to the current selling price minus the new selling price, which is 219. So again, kailangan natin pagsamahin yung like terms. In this example, si negative 219, pag nilipat natin sa left side equation, magiging positive 219. And then equal to the current selling price, si 0.27 CSP or the positive 0.27 CSP, pagpunta sa right side ay magiging negative. Kaya CSP minus 0.27 CSP. Now we have 219 is equal to 0.73 CSP. Again, para ma-eliminate natin yung value doon sa may mga variables, we have to divide it by 0.73. So when you divide 219 by 0.73, your current selling price is 300 pesos.